Hey everyone! So before we get into the usual updates, I wanted to reflect a little on the feedback we've seen from the recent Xbox showcase. I think it's fair to say that we saw some pretty wild speculation ahead of time, and given the scale of some of our previous showcase announcements, some expectations were set uncomfortably high. I know the introduction of the Smugglers League has generated a fair amount of questions, but I can't wait to share more on our refreshed approach to seasons, starting here with Season 17. We'll commit to not only sharing more on the season itself, but more importantly how that fits into our broader approach for the year ahead in the coming months. Right, let's jump back to Season 16. So our mid-season update arriving this month allows players to break the seal on Reaper's chests, releasing Order of Bone and Blade skeletons to aid them on land and on board ships at sea. Alongside this expansion to the Reaper's chests, the team has also been monitoring feedback on the season's launch, and this update brings in additional pillar locations for the Search of Ancient Secrets voyage, providing more variety and addressing contention issues. The Cannon of Rage can now be cashed in as a treasure to all of the trading companies, and skeleton mercenaries can now be found buried on forts, providing you more allies in your siege. We've also seen the feedback on the balancing of some of the Reaper's Bones commendations introduced in Season 16. While these commendations were designed to align with the requirements set out for our other trading companies, I don't think we gave enough consideration to how these would arrive as part of a season update. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter if it works on paper. Your feedback shows that the number of items being requested is just set way too high, and we've missed the mark here. Now, I know some players have been asking for us to drop the commendation requirements here, but we're not going to do that this time. We've rebalanced commendations post-launch before, and while it does appease some players, it doesn't respect the time already spent by players who jumped into the season early. And we're making the call to not devalue your time spent here. We know this isn't a new issue for us, and we're going to be much more considered on our commendation balancing in future seasons, but we won't be making any changes here to Season 16's commendations. Also arriving in this update is some under-the-hood improvements to matchmaking, aiming to reduce the wait times for players diving to experiences like Hourglass. This comes in the form of cross-region matchmaking, allowing us to expand the search outside of a player's home region if a suitable match or server hasn't been found. Using Hourglass as an example, crews will initially search for rivals in their home region. However, if a suitable match hasn't been found after a short time, then additional regions will be added to the search over time, broadening the pool of potential rivals. We'll be using network data to control each region's fallback behaviour to ensure we optimise for a good quality experience, alongside improvements to matchmaking times. With Fight Nights starting later this month, we're looking forward to seeing this new system help bring more players together for some carnage. This update also addresses the Skull of Siren Song respawn rules, provides improved profanity filtering in text chat, and further performance improvements. But you'll have to check out the release notes for all the finer details on those. On the live game side, I wanted to call out some of the priority areas the team are currently working on addressing. Strawberry beards on PlayStation 5. While we work to resolve this, if you are being affected, please raise a support ticket and our player support team can troubleshoot this with you. We're then working to mitigate the issues caused by malicious actors targeting players with spam invites. We're looking into issues where players lose credit for stolen items once they've been buried. And then some players are becoming stuck, unable to unlock the Mobile Cannoneer achievement or trophy. While I've got no timelines on these fixes at the point of recording this video, these are all being worked on with urgency by the team. And then I wanted to finish up with an update on game security. May's update went after pack file usage, and as a part of the game update and following hotfix, we've now disrupted players using those game modifications. We did find that players who'd modified game settings such as field of view and sensitivity still had those modified settings remain. And as part of June's update, any of those modified settings will now be returned to default levels. Now, while our focus here has clearly been on securing our game, we have taken this as an opportunity to review the types of modifications players were using, for us to learn and better understand why players were turning to mods. Putting the exploits aside, there was a clear modification that a lot of players had been using, and we weren't really surprised, as it's one we've seen commonly requested in player feedback, and as an accessibility improvement. So, we're going to be increasing the maximum field of view that we support, from the current cap of 90, and extend that up to 110. We've settled at that figure by reviewing the experience across the field of view range, and we feel that 110 is the limit before the game's visual experience begins to become compromised. We've kicked off the work required here to address the various animation issues seen when playing above 90, but once resolved, we'll be rolling this change out to insiders for testing as part of our future update. While our game health team have been busy focusing on security, performance, and recently stepping into some long-standing bugs, I'm excited that this team is now starting to stretch even further into the experience and begin working on these kind of game improvements. I've said it before, but the shape of the team is shifting in order for us to focus more time on improving the heart of the experience. But for now, let's call it there. Catch you all next time.